get it.
Chupapi Bunyanya.
We here. That's not a way to start this podcast. I've been away for like months.
So you guys are here after the fucking time skip. We didn't get any more powerful. Just the same. I got weaker. I'm sick.
I love how you started saying we didn't get any more powerful. We got deranked.
Hello, for my anime fans out there, after the time skip, you want to get more powerful. A little change of looks. Nothing changed. I still can't grow a fucking mustache.
No evolution right there. I look a bit homeless.
My titties dropped a little bit.
So that's nice.
I might need a bra suit, man.
Yeah, man. You don't want to get them too saggy, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't expecting to see him at 22, but here I am, 22 years old, with like my titties starting to droop a little bit. Too much information, maybe.
The little teardrop shape, I like that.
And with that segment, welcome to this week's episode of Marinate. We haven't been here for a little bit. We're back. We're not dead. Some people think, oh, did you guys drop the fucking podcast? You get lazy. No, maybe.
So offended right now. No.
Technical difficulties, okay? Wi-Fi wasn't abundant. But anyways,
we wanted to talk about something chill today. Something relaxing, because we're both a bit, as you can see, we're not doing okay.
Our previous episodes were on quite heavy and dark subjects, I guess, which is, fine. Like, everyone loves a bit of that here and there, but we thought we'd just switch it up a little with this week's episode. And so we're going to talk about something that's quite close to us, me and I especially. But, oh yeah, we didn't even introduce ourselves this week.
Oh, we never do this. Hello,
let's quickly do that.
My name is Ayaz, and I'm here with...
Me llamo Izzy.
Did you say it so awkwardly? Back to the topic. Like, me llamo Izzy. We want to talk about something that's a bit informal, that's a bit relaxing, that's a bit chill. Something I think Izzy and I do every day almost, and I'm sure like a lot of you guys are doing it. Or that sounds weird.
Hey, yo, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about, man. We're talking about gaming.
We're talking
about get your minds
on
the fucking gutter. Alright, it's late night. I know we got the sex lighting. But no, we're talking about gaming today, guys, because I know, especially with our generation, and obviously with the younger generations, it's becoming a huge thing. You're seeing stuff like esports taking as seriously as actual sports, and there's huge money in it. But that's not what we're really going to be talking about today. In terms of today, we're going to be talking about co-op, more specifically couch co-op and stuff like that.
The rise and fall of couch co-op.
The rise and fall. Because, I have memories when I was younger of, playing games, 2 different controllers, same TV, wired controllers and whatnot, just trying to bust out a story. And I feel like, this was a conversation that me and Ayaz had, like, a while back. I don't know, it just happens, as these things do. And we were talking about how you don't really see much of that anymore, or that sort of game.
Yeah. I was just today or like yesterday. This is very recently. I've been actually trying to find some co-op games, like trying to do some research, because I got friends coming over and people coming over to stay for a while. So I was thinking it would be really cool if I could get a second controller and like just play some couch co-op, because and honestly, trying to find a couch co-op, like you'll find some videos on YouTube about like top 10 couch co-ops or something, but to actually find a good one that both of you enjoy playing,
that's new as well.
That's new as well. I feel like it's a bit challenging to play. Find even. So
exactly, because I feel like with the current state of gaming, or like modern trends of gaming, they sort of follow the same thing, and rare, like, couch co-op games in general have become sort of rare. There aren't really even any modes. There used to be modes like, I don't know, I remember in Far Cry 3, right? Or games like that, in that time period, there'll be campaign or like co-op campaign, you know.
Yeah.
And games like Borderlands and stuff like that, there's co-op campaign. It might not even be couch co-op per se, but games where you can play co-op without shooting each other, man.
That's the thing.
It's
like
rare. You don't see that anymore.
I feel like, yeah, like the good old days when you just. Well, I was gonna say something mean about my sister, saying that like I used to give her the controller pretending like she's playing, but I was the one who's playing.
Yeah.
The controller was disconnected. But like no, like even like racing games, we used to, like me and my sister growing up. I have a younger sister, and like her and I growing up, we used to. She doesn't play a lot of games anymore, but like we used to play a lot of games growing up. Things like, and back then I feel like pretty much a lot of games had like bless you.
Thank you.
Pretty much a lot of games had like co-op, like split screen or something like that.
Yeah.
For example, Need for Speed had it, and this is like a very rare thing right these days for Need for Speed to have like split screen. Like those days, I remember. Sorry, I'm cutting you off, but like Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon, I think.
Yeah.
They're all split screen and they're real fun, like to play.
People can forget the fun, in couch co-op or playing a game together on like the same screen, or not even the same screen, like in the same sort of space. I feel like nowadays games sort of, well, triple A, like modern games, like the really big names, they fall into the same sort of categories where if it really is a huge interesting story, most of the time it's single player. If it's multiplayer, it's just a bunch of like jump in a match, jump out, jump in a match, jump out, live that, repeat, shoot, like the COD games. Not saying it's not fun. Obviously it's fun, but to an extent,
it's
right?
Just a different kind of experience, I think.
Yeah, like if you see too much of that, it starts getting tired out. Like how games hopped on the whole battle royale wave, and now every game is battle royale, and you don't see any other thing.
Yeah.
Like it's really
loses creativity and like
exactly, and
it's all blends in together. I feel
it gets bland, man. Like I'm looking back, because nowadays I'm trying to find games to play, and most of the games that I want to play with like really deep, rich stories are just single player games or really old games where there is co-op, and this isn't to say that couch co-op is completely gone. No, I'm saying it's gone from triple A statuses, like most indie developers, and this is why I love indie games, right? Indie developers are still looking into stuff like that. They still know how it feels to create that sort of fun, and they still have the creative, I guess, bravery to explore that sort of thing, to actually make it into a game, unlike AAA, where it's more time these days it just feels like a cash grab. They know someone's gonna buy whatever number of whatever popular game it is. Assassin's Creed isn't a shooter, but it's so tired out. I don't even know when the last game, you know what I mean? Like, not to say they're not great games, I'm sure people love them, there's definitely fans out there, but it's just tired out at this point.
It's funny you mention it, because it was actually like back then, it was actually one of my favorite series. Like,
yeah, right.
I used to get like pretty much all of them. Like,
it was
Assassin's
huge.
Creed Syndicate, Black Flag, and then I think all of them just kind of blended into.
Yeah, no, I dropped off after Black Flag. I didn't even care about Syndicate or
Black Flag.
Black Flag was like the last one that I sort of cared for, because I mean, obviously, I don't know if the viewers or the audience knows this, but like Assassin's Creed, the main first couple of games followed the Ezio tree, that family tree, and then after that I just didn't really care that much, mostly because I didn't have access to the games, and also because the story started getting convoluted. Actually, an example of games that I feel like capture that fun and co-op of co-op, the Lego games, man. The Lego games, of them. I mean, I played most of the Lego Star Wars games and a bit of Lego Batman.
You play the Star Wars games? Like, do you watch Star Wars?
I don't watch Star Wars, but I know about it through simply memes and the Lego games. That's a confession.
That's actually kind of cool. Like,
I mean, obviously, like, I know you enjoy FPSs, but I wasn't really huge on them in the first place. Like, that's not my kind of game. My kind of games have always been sort of away from that genre, and I mean, the games that I like to play, fighting games, I got you into them, right?
Yeah.
And they, for the most part, because they are fighting games, they still have couch co-op. You can still play on the same
I feel
screen.
like that's I was gonna say that's like one genre of games. I feel like that's forever gonna be co-op in a way.
Yeah, immortal.
Yeah, there's no other way you can do it because it's one player versus another player, and that's how it's gonna be.
Exactly.
I don't think there's any, and like FIFA maybe, but it's getting tiring at this point. I never think there are some hardcore FIFA players out there. I'm not trying to piss y'all off.
The sports games always do.
I'm not a big FIFA fan. I don't know why. I don't think Izzy is either. Like, we'd play if a bunch of friends are playing it. We'd play it.
It's more of a social game in our eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking, does it bring anything new with each iteration of the game? Is it worth it? No, absolutely not. Like, I'm not too into football anyways. That's probably why.
Since 1965, man. Like, it's the same game. I'm sorry.
Like, I'm sure. Obviously, this isn't to diss it entirely. Like, if you're a fan of the sport, if you're a fan of the games, go for it. You know, like, do whatever you want to do. But I'm not a big fan of football anyways. Like, I know of it. I keep up to date when I should, but I'm not like big on it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I can't just trash on like football because I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I'm a big fan of Call of Duty and like first person, as he said, and I'm getting sick and tired of it right now. Like, honestly, I haven't touched Call of Duty or Warzone, nothing for a while. I'm just really tired of it. I think it's the same thing.
I feel like you're just saturated with that content. You know, you're full up.
Izzy and I went back to Overwatch recently, and I feel like that's a bit of a change because that's not exactly...
It's a bit more refreshing. It's not your traditional FPS, you know? It isn't like take cover, aim and shoot.
Yeah.
And all of that, you know?
Like, there's abilities and there's character depth.
Creative characters, creative abilities. You need... Like, it pays more emphasis in team comp and not KDA. You know, you don't need to get kills. You don't need to always... like, I play Mercy. You know, for the most part, or Reinhardt, like the support characters, the characters that don't really, they're not in the front line to get kills. But I have plenty of fun because my fun is, okay, how am I going to keep my teammates alive? Who am I going to heal next? Who am I going to boost damage? Or how am I going to protect my teammates as Reinhardt? You know, stuff like that. That's getting into that. But like, this is going to be an example that, you know, me and you know, because you know how fun it is when we play like Ghost of Tsushima online?
Yeah.
And we're about to take down, like, you know, I'm behind an enemy, you're behind an enemy, they're both standing in like a line, and we're like, all right, 3, 2, 1, we get it. You know,
that's
like
that's good game. Cool. If you guys haven't played
like
Ghost of Tsushima, honestly, you're missing out.
Festival. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let Izzy carry this one because
I'm the more Tsushima advocate. But no, first of all, you're missing out on amazing graphics. Whether you're on like last gen or current gen, I'm talking PS4, PS5, Xbox, whatever. The graphics are amazing. Okay, the story is great. There are so many little details that if you do pick up on it, and if you're someone who cares about that stuff, you'll love the game. I find it a lot more engaging and a lot more interesting than no-name protagonists who you don't even see because you're in first-person mode, shooting up another no-name enemy for points.
When I talk about, I don't know, like co-op games, there's one specific game that comes to mind like a lot. And I think the game that it comes to mind is like, it's not very popular at all. And that is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks.
Oh, even I haven't played this.
Izzy and I are big Mortal Kombat fans, but like this is like one game that was in PS2 and it was... I think some hardcore players know about it, but I just happened to know about it because my neighbor had it at that time. And it's basically with just Liu Kang and Kung Lao, two of the main characters. And and it's not even a one-on-one fighting game. It's basically a story mode where...
Oh, I think I've heard about this.
Yeah, when something happens and they both go on an adventure and like two players can play. You can either play solo and you pick one of each character, or like you play two players and... You basically pick whoever you want to play, and it's between those two, and you kind of go on an adventure. And there's like different realms. There's Earth realm. There's like Nether realm, and all these stuff. And it's kind of like a beat 'em up, sort of, except you go around and it just follows a story. And I thought that was incredibly fun. And I don't know, till this day, it just stuck to me because that was one of the first brutal games I played. And on the PS2, looking at pixelated bloods, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you can't even diss the PS2 though, because the PS2 spawned games like Ninja Gaiden, which is still renowned as one of the hardest games ever, you know, to play. Like, it's very technical, very like on point.
I honestly, I honestly think PS2 had some of the best games.
PS2 had great games, man.
You still play Okami, which is one of the.
Okami is one of my most favorite games of all time, which originally was released for the PS2, and it's ever since then it's been released for everything else in remasters, and I still love it. Like, I think I played it on almost everything: PS2, PS3, PS4, now PS5 now, you know, and I'm still waiting to buy it on PC. Like, I would.
Thing is, I haven't really got chance to play the game, but I saw a lot of your live streams that you do on Twitch, and one of the main things I like about it, go check him out. No, anyways, the one of the good, don't check him out, he's shit.
I haven't streamed in weeks.
We've been busy. One of the coolest thing about the game, I think, is the fact that you draw different shapes and they act as different things.
Yeah, man.
And I thought it was super fascinating.
It's a concept that I haven't seen in ages, man. And Okami did it on the PS2 hardware and software, you know? Like, okay, so I might as well give a bit of, like, you know, background info. But in Okami, you play it as, like, it's a Japanese set game. Like, it's meant to look and feel as if you're looking on, you know, those scrolls of like ancient Japanese art, like mythological creatures and stuff like that. The whole game is set in like this watercolor brushstroke style art, and it's very Japanese, you know, because it is a Japanese game, Japanese story, blah blah. You can draw little shapes in game in real time. Like, it'll freeze time when you draw these shapes, and the shapes that you draw turn into, like, you know, the different abilities that she has. So say if you draw a straight line across an enemy, that's a cut. You're using a sword, so they will get cut in half if they have, you know, health that's low enough. Or you can cut down trees, stone. You can use it to, you know, unlock puzzles. If you draw a circle, you can summon the sun, you know.
I think I saw the scene where you were on a boat or a lily pad or something on the down the river, and like you were drawing shapes,
circles. To push the wind, right?
Yeah. And I was like, that's interesting, because
no, it's really a gem.
Yeah, instead of just steering, you're actually drawing the way you want to go and stuff. I think that's really
cool.
I think the last time I played a really good co-op game, like really that stuck to me, was, and I think it's funny because I played it with Izzy, and that is A Way Out.
Yes.
A Way Out is such a... No one talks about that game for some reason.
I feel like it was swept, man. It was really swept under the rug, even though it was such a... I mean, as a game, I think we can both agree it was kind of short. But see, it doesn't really matter when the concept was insane, man. I mean, all right, this ties into what we started the episode with, you know, couch co-op, or just co-op in general. And I think A Way Out, the way they did the co-op, I've never seen it before.
It's completely new to me.
And if you guys don't know, also, A Way Out is a story based on, I guess, these two guys that break out of prison together, and their lives become sort of intertwined, and, you know, you follow them for a couple of days and see how things turn out. You progress the story with them, and at the start of the game, you and your friend will pick who they want to play as, right? And it sort of gives you a bit of detail on them. And actually, I think back in the day, it also did this thing that we've never seen before. Me and I has never saw this before, in terms of, like, just before you even play the game, only one person had to purchase the game. Back when we just discovered the game and we were thinking, like, oh, should we buy it? You told me, you were like, oh, you know, you can just buy it and give me the code, or like I can buy it and I can give you the code and we can just play it. And I found it really surprising. I was like, what do you mean? Like, so they're giving away a copy of the game technically for free to one other person? Like, that doesn't happen anymore, you know?
Thing is, if you guys don't know, the way to play A Way Out is you cannot play that game solo. That game has to be played together, and it's split screen all the time for both the players. So you get to see both their perspective from different. Like, for example, if someone is distracting someone and you're sneaking out, so technically you can look at the other person's screen and see, like, that they're distracting, or they're in a cutscene while you're sneaking behind them. I don't know. It's honestly such a unique
experience
of gaming. And I
Cause
think that's why they gave away one of the copies for free, so that because otherwise the game wouldn't work. I'm not sure if that kind of hurt the game in the long run.
no, I feel like in a way it was an experiment, right? To see if that model of selling games would work, and I feel like it did work, because most of the time, or from what I saw, the people that actually did get the game and play it, they all loved it. The only complaint was that it was short, but I mean everything else was really cool because the person behind the game is originally like a filmmaker, you know.
Yeah, he's like a movie director or something.
Yeah. So he understands shots and angles, and the way the split screen works is it's almost like you're watching a movie but you're playing one, you know.
Yeah.
And the entire time it doesn't feel like you're losing out on any space. If one of the sides get bigger than the other character, that just means that now your focus should be on this character more than the other, you know. It's more of an important moment, and it's not like they tell you like, oh, look at this screen. They show you, they do
just
it.
shift the sort of like the size of the screen or the focus. So, but it's still there. The other screen is still there, so you can.
It's still there. It's not like you ever lose one of the screens entirely.
Yeah. It's honestly one of the most unique experiences I had in terms of story as well. The game is short, but the story was amazing.
But it was fun. But no, I was gonna say, do you remember that part where they were basically trying to get up higher, but they were bound or something, and they had to like back off each. Yeah, and both of us had to step at the same time.
For some reason, that's the only scene. That's one of the scenes that I remember the most as well.
Right? Because did we do it in one try or did it fuck up? I can't remember. Let's be honest here.
I don't remember. I think we did it one try, to be honest. I think we did it. Yeah, I think we did it. I think we were struggling. We were slipping down a bit, but I think we did it.
Yeah, because the game.
It's very strange because it's basically, I'll let you explain how the mechanics work, but the way we're doing is basically they're trying to go up a vent and they had their back to each other so they could press against the wall on both sides, and that kind of.
So it's back to back, both feet going up like this basically. And the way we had to do it in game was to press the button that advances their feet at the same time, so that, you know, one person isn't higher than the other, because otherwise you lose your footing, right? So we'd have to physically like tell to each other, all right, 3, 2, 1, like you know, it's more of that sort of sense, like the Ghost of Tsushima killing thingy, and also now this, like, I just
you really have to. I love it when games force you to work together, otherwise it doesn't work.
It feels a lot more interactive, you know. It's a lot more gratifying when you finally do reach what you are meant to do, because you work together to do it.
You play a game like Call of Duty or something, no one's gonna listen to you if you say don't go over there. There's someone around the corner. You're still gonna rush in and try and get a kill or like die. It's not as. One of the games I can think of is Tom Clancy's Breaking Point, I think it's called. Is the Ghost Recon, I think it's called.
Heard of it, but just never.
Ghost Recon was supposed to be a very strategic game in open world where you do teamwork and you're very stealthy and you work together. Honestly, the game failed completely because
people don't listen.
People don't listen. It doesn't work. You just go run and gun. Also, the game was extremely buggy, so that didn't help.
Yeah, that also. Nah, I heard about that. Oh, this is such an insult thing. I don't even want to reveal this. You know when we play League?
No, we don't play League. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not anymore.
Wait, what? I don't know.
When we played League, this is in college. I'm sorry, man. I know lots of people must be disappointed. But here's the thing, right? I was going to say, because he came from a background of mostly like FPS's, COD, you know. This isn't a diss towards you, man, but I feel like it makes people so selfish. You have to be in a selfish mentality.
I am.
Games. You want to get the most kills. You want to get the least deaths. You want to get the kill cam. You want this. You want that. You want everything.
I get so mad.
Yeah. But from the games that I play, I'm normally chill with like helping each other or like, I don't know, doing my part. Like, even though if it's a small part, and then going towards a bigger goal. So when it comes to the League, when I would play support, it'd be like, but I'm getting so many assists. And because obviously you're a COD player, assists are shit, man. It means like you didn't finish a job. Someone else had to do it.
I'm like, I need the kills. Why am I getting assists?
In every other game, like especially in League, if you play support, there's items that literally benefit you more if you get more assists. Or there's characters that like build up on that. And I find it so interesting how people like they get a certain mindset because of the games that they've played. Obviously,
Honestly,
like,
man, I feel like I have such a trash mindset because I used to play COD and I'm a COD player. You know how it is. Even when I play competitive Call of Duty and I'm the
yeah,
last person alive, I'll be like taunting my weapons or like teabagging or like doing something that's very toxic to other players, you know?
I find it interesting when you put that sort of player into, I don't know, co-op type setting like we were, because
Yeah.
you were still like, it was very much like, it wasn't ego led at all. Like, you actually tone it down and you're like, all right, so what do we do next? Like, how should we do this? How should we time this? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, right? It was actually like equal footing.
Yeah.
And what's it
I,
called?
I think it balances out the sort of skill gap in players because, for example, games that's like League of Legends or like Call of Duty, it's extremely skill based. You need to know your skills. If you don't have this, if you don't know the game, you're not gonna be good at it. But I feel like a game like A Way Out, I've been playing. I recently played Unravel 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about Unravel, but it's basically
yeah.
it's such a simple concept of like a yarn ball, and it's basically an adventure of a yarn ball. And in Unravel 2, there's two yarn balls, and like you have to solve puzzles together.
Like, your character is literally made of yarn, by the way. If you didn't, if you guys don't know,
Yeah.
it's literally like a little animated piece of yarn in the shape of a person. And when you solve puzzles, say you need to go down or reach up, you throw your own bits of string which are made of you, and so it's limited, right? If you don't do it the right way, you'll run out of yarn and you won't be able to reach the height or whatever it is. I've never actually played the game, but I know the concept.
It's extremely, I think that's it's really fun because honestly it kind of gets rid of the skill gap in players, because you can't be better than the other yarn, like it's a puzzle, so you kind of have to work together, plan things.
Sometimes like people get, I don't know, carried away and whatnot, and it's just, it ain't fun, man.
No no shade will be thrown in this podcast.
Edit that shit out. But no, like, I'm being sincere here. Like, when there isn't a skill gap and when everyone's on equal footing, or at least like needed, that's when it's the most fun, because you're not competing.
Yeah,
you're more co-oping. You're cooperating. Legit. Like, that's all it is.
I feel like with every game, fun. Even like, for example, even if you're, for example, Izzy and I, we play a lot of Mortal Kombat or like fighting games. I'll give the example of Mortal Kombat, right? Because I think we're in a level, not to flex, but we're pretty good. Like, we're decent at the game.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing alright. Yeah. So when it comes to Mortal Kombat, for example, we understand how the game works. We understand the mechanics, and we're both very similar level. I wouldn't say like Izzy understands the mechanics of the game a bit too well. I would say he understands, like, I don't know, breaking.
Just because I block. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but like the technicalities.
I understand the game theory a lot more.
Yeah, so like the theory is pretty good at it. I'm just aggressive. I just like rushing, but I feel like at the end we're both pretty like in the similar level.
Yeah,
and that makes it fun. Like, even if we're just very aggressive players and we're trying a lot of different things, we're on the same level, so it kind of balances out the.
Because we can just run through like multiple sets, and it's not like we would know who's gonna win at all times.
Yeah,
sometimes like there'll be nights where Ayaz wins a lot more than I do, or there'll be some nights where I win a lot more. There'll be some nights where no one really wins that much. Yeah, it's just like equal footing, and that's what keeps it fresh for me. Because
that's what makes it fun. But like, say if it happened to be me playing against someone who doesn't really know and played the game,
and you just
like trash them
all the time,
that's not fun.
It's not fun for both sides. Like, you'd think winning is so fun. No, if you win against someone that wasn't even good enough to fight in the first place, what did you even get? You ever heard of those fucking weird like world records on news where people die at gaming cafes because they've been, like, I don't know, raiding a boss for 16 hours straight? And it just like collapsed at the table. Souls. That's fucked up. I love the Soulsborne series, man. I love them to bits because I like things that feel satisfying, and for me, what feels satisfying is getting over a really hard boss. Or because these games, right, they're notorious for being the hardest games or whatever, because I don't know, man, you die in one hit sometimes, or bosses just have really erratic like patterns of attack. But there's there's a technique to it, man. Like, it's not even something that's hard. It's just you literally just have to look at patterns, or you must have to dodge, or you have to know about like the little technical things, which I'm good at. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good at paying attention to that sort of thing.
I still remember that one time I tried out Bloodborne for the first time, and Izzy was like, "Yo, you gotta try this boss, right? He's so hard to beat.
Oh, fuck
It's
off,
one,
man.
it's one, it's one of the hardest boss to beat
Fuck
in the
off.
game." And I go and I beat him one time. Like I never played the game. And it's like,
Who was it again?
it's the thirsting beast.
Bloodstar Beast. There we
Bloodstar.
go.
Yeah, the Bloodstar beast.
Fuck
yeah.
you, man.
I just
See,
went in and I destroyed it, and he was like,
I'm
"I've been
not
trying it
gonna,
for 2 days."
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's that sort of boss that your type of player is more suited against, because you're meant to be really aggressive towards him.
Yeah.
And you were really good at it, because okay, I don't know if you guys know too much about like the Soulsborne series, like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all of that, Sekiro even, but each enemy, like each boss, they have like their own different like patterns of attack. So they'll do like, I don't know, certain little things that you're meant to look out for. You know, they have multiple stages, and they're just really hard things to fight, because your character's limited. Now in his case, the Bloodstar Beast is this really weird looking like flappy werewolf, like really fleshy, and it's really aggressive, you know. And like in the second stage, it starts spewing out poison at the same time, and it's really fast as well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I fucked up because I'm not that type of player. I like watching, I like
Learning
to
them.
see, yeah, I like learning them and then beating them like that, which is not what you're supposed to do, because then I let the Bloodstar Beast get to the second stage where it poisons you, and I'm not doing enough damage.
Yeah.
Ayaz, on the other hand, just likes to rush him down, which is in this case really good, because he doesn't even let it get to the second stage.
It doesn't always work out.
It doesn't know what to do, and it doesn't even get to the second stage because he just fucking completely skips that shit and kills it. My jaw down there, fam. I was like, I've been trying that shit forever.
You're like, how did you do this? What?
It took me so long, and then I share played it. I was so smug. I was feeling like, king of the castle. Fucking, I was sitting there like, yeah, man, you gotta try this boss. I don't think you get the first try, but the boss is
He's trying to
like,
teach me, like, you know, like, you gotta do this, you gotta back off, you know, he does this move, and I just like.
I was telling him about iframes and shit. What the fuck? He didn't even need that information.
I feel like it's one of those games where you have to interpret your own story, no? Because.
No.
You don't? Because I
mean,
like...
sort of. You piece it together. That's the thing.
Oh,
The Souls series, they have their own story, obviously, but they don't tell you in a way.
It's not linear, I guess.
Yeah, because you know how current games sort of like spoon feed your story by giving you like little tutorials or like little cutscenes here and there, and just basically push you all the way in a straight line to like the ending of the story. The Souls series doesn't really do that. It tells the story through the game. So once you keep playing, once you get to a certain stage, you'll learn more. Things will make more sense, and then you'll be like, oh wait, so this is what's going on. I literally had that experience with Bloodborne.
Not gonna lie, I feel like I do like spoon-fed story. I like stories that are linear. For example, I like games. One of my favorite games of all time, The Witcher 3. I always stand by it. I always will. It's my favorite game. I spend more than 500 hours on it. Love that game to bits. Clearly. But the way it does is huge. The game is huge. Like, even the other day, someone found a mission that no one else found in like since 2014 when the game came out.
Wait, in The Witcher 3?
Yeah, in The Witcher 3. It was on like Lad
insane.
Bible. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's like super rare quest or something.
All
Anyways, that game branches out. Like, it's just huge. There's like so many side missions. There's so many things to do. So many small things can lead to something big, you know. But the thing is, it still has the main story plot line, right? Like you're gonna end up in the ending of the games one way or another. And there's a main quest and then the side quest. I like that kind of game. I like the game that has a main quest and there's a lot of side quests. I do chase the side quest first. I'll save the main quest for the last when I have nothing else to do. But I do like that there is a end goal. I mean, or a clear path to where I need to go. I like that.
No, yeah.
Because I played a little bit of Bloodborne. And like there's multiple ways you can go. Like the multiple areas you can go, multiple ways you can go.
Pretty much anywhere. And most of the time it leads to either more of the story or a shortcut or something else, like, you know, something you never would have found.
Now you can stumble upon bosses that you can skip past if you wanted to.
You didn't even need to fight. I like very technical games that feels like hard but it's very rewarding.
Witcher is technical and rewarding and hard.
Which
I
is
love
not
Witcher.
technical, man.
It is. You have to learn your potions.
It's not
Goddamn
technical,
potion.
man. You're pressing one button, man.
Hey, shut up. Let's end this video right now. I don't want to talk about it. I think I'm sorry, guys, because I feel like we're so tired at this point. We both sound really high.
There are some.
I feel like we're having a very high conversation that we're just like, yeah, man.
That's the vibe, though.
That's the vibe. That's
the vibe.
That's the whole theme of this channel.
That's what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah, just it's like a laid back conversation. Obviously, the topics are not always gonna be the same. Obviously, as you can tell from today's, completely unique and different. Some of you might not even play video games, and but we do appreciate if you tagged along and carried on with.
I mean, if at any point you know I made you think about some old co-op game that you might have played, drop it in the comment. I want to hear
We'd
about
like
it.
to know. Oh, actually, what I would also like to know that if you guys know any good games to play right now, like any co-op games.
Yeah, point us towards some fresh new games. Why not? Always looking for some.
But yeah, speaking of creative title,
Cyberpunk.
Please don't break my heart.
That's a whole topic for another episode.
We have to make I could rant about Cyberpunk by myself for 50 minutes. What a disappointment from one of my favorite developers. It's just sad. Izzy always gonna make fun of me for that. Always gonna diss me for it.
From The Witcher to Cyberpunk.
Always gonna bring this up. I was gonna skip this real quick. I was gonna end the video before he brought it up.
Nah, man.
He didn't let me out.
This will definitely be in an episode eventually, but
we're probably gonna talk about Cyberpunk every time we talk about failure. Cause
don't worry though, guys.
They fixed it. Okay, the game is fixed. Izzy. I told you it's fixed.
Okay? That was a real cough. But anyways, tune in for next week's, whatever that might be. AKA next week. Cut that out, please. Fuck. It's such a stupid little thing.
Next week.
Well, of course. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I was gonna say. Fuck you, man. I can't. Take 4. Any point you enjoyed the episode, let us know. And yeah, if we pick up one of your topics, if you want us to talk about anything in particular, drop it in the comments. Just drop a lot of things in the comments. Drop us a like as well. Subscribe, hit the bell, all of that YouTuber nonsense. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
We're very professional.